Now, when you guys were talking about Barcelona, like I said, was right after the first few waves were ashore. I didn't get it in until 11 o'clock. I see everybody running over to this little ravine, and they're all talking about Joe Barcelona. You know, we went over there and he was laid out in this gully, and we're there all the time. Now, you're talking about somebody with 60 millimeters. We had that on top of Vito, right on top of the mountain. They drug that up about the third or the fourth day. And we kept firing down where the fourth Marine Division was right there off the airfield. And I'll tell you, we were knocking planes out of the airfield because they were coming out of a hole there somewhere. I wasn't over that side. I was always on I think it was the south side, and we went up that side there right along Ewo, and there was an island out there. They went out and they sent a boat out there. There was only a few Japs out there. Then they came back, and I'll tell you, we were always on the hiding. The Japs were damn good. And I didn't get knocked off until I was up around where the last of the Marines, the last of the Japs were. Right up on the edge of the island. And on the way back is when I got knocked off. Or otherwise, I would have made it one piece. That was about the 14th of April. They secured the island around the 16th or the 18th, somewhere around there. And you were talking about Peleliu?
Peleliu.
Well, I had a friend of mine, he said Peleliu was worse than Ewo.
It was the worst thing place I've ever been in.
Was you on Peleliu? Was you at the castle or something? Was there a castle there in the middle of the island? That's what held everything up in Peleliu. He was a lieutenant there, and he got knocked off. And I met him home, and he's telling me how it was there. He says, "Look, let me tell you," he says, "you guys talk about Ewo. Peleliu was worse than Ewo." So he says. Everybody, wherever they were, was the worst. And Whatchacall was the worst, too. They don't give much, they don't say too much about it.
Were you in Peleliu, buddy?
No, I wasn't in Peleliu. My buddy was.
Oh.
I met him when he came home. He was a lieutenant.
Just before we landed there, a rocket cruiser came through. I never saw anything like it. Boxes on it, and they let one side go, and after that island was shaking just like that, they turned around and let the other side of that ship go with rockets.
You couldn't go in there with Higgins boats. I went in on a half track.
Half track, okay, yeah.
Well,
we couldn't get ashore where I was on a half track. We had to come in on it. They put it on an LSM, like Landing Craft Mechanized.
No.
And we were with the Seabees when we went ashore, because the whole shore was blocked up with all kinds of broken ships, all those LSMs or LSTs or LSIs.
Navy ship infantry.
did anybody serve with John Barcelona that went on to the other battles?
That's it. Ewo was the end of his
where he got it.
He died there. Right.
Did you serve with John Barcelona?
I didn't serve with him.
Oh, because he was one of the nicest guys you could ever.
So they told me. Yeah.
His nickname was Manila John.
He was in the 5th Division.
He was in the Army first, you know.
Oh yeah, he got out of the Army.
And he got out of the Army and he joined the Marines.
He liked to play blackjack, I know that.
His nickname was Manila John because he used to tell all the guys in the Army about his exploits in the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
That's where he got the nickname Manila John.